pals, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, with another Chin Wag, and this one I have been waiting for a long time. No disregard or shade on anybody, but of the people on Drag Race UK, my Patreoners wanted me to talk to this queen, and I had no trouble with it whatsoever. But it's been a long time coming. We booked something. Well, then she got very busy and famous, and then we had to, finally we're here. Victoria Scone, welcome to the Wilma Fingerdoo Chin Wag. How are you, darling?
Hello, Wilma. I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Oh, I'm excited. Look at you with your hair all piled up high.
I know it was not like this a minute ago.
Neither was mine. I always think I put them away so well, and then they tell me otherwise. So now I just want to congratulate you for you were only on Drag Race for literally 2 episodes. I'm going to say an episode and a half, because I don't feel we saw the real Victoria Scone on episode 2, but you made such a great impact. I think I said on my review that you had the best entrance outfit of the day. And then during the, oh yeah, no, it is true drag. Like it was spectacular. And then you were so funny during the dirty charades, lying on the floor by the end of it. I really, you were one of my picks. I always do a top 4 pick of the queens. And I do this without really much information. I try and see videos of everyone performing, and some people have lots, some people don't. And, you know, sometimes I think when people don't have a lot of video that there's a reason, but some people are just very busy and famous and too busy to record themselves and do stuff like that. So I don't read into it, but you were one of my top 4 picks to make it to the top 4. And you proved me absolutely not wrong on that first episode. And then Sweet Marie and the Ships at Sea, you not only had to lip sync for the win, you were the only person that had to do that. What was that about?
God knows, we didn't have a clue that was going to happen. I was as surprised as you are. Yeah, where did that come from? That wasn't fair.
No, I expected them to do it past that, but you weren't. And maybe part of me thought, well, you know, Victoria hurt herself. What if every queen, you know, lip syncs for their life like it is for their life and does damage just to stay in the game and ends up getting kicked out? When you went down on your knees, I'm an old girl. I don't go down on my knees for anything anymore. Anything.
Are you sure?
I'll tell you, if it's not at eye level, I don't see it. And when you went, every time a queen goes down on their knees or does a death drop, there's a part of me that just goes, oh, Sweet Marie, you know, like, oh, save the children, you know. And when you went down, I just thought, oh, that, because you were on platforms, that was a long way to drop.
Yeah, I was on pleasers, and that was kind of the reason that my knee overextended the way it did, because of the extra chunk from the pleaser. So my knee literally went further than it should have, basically. Yeah,
and you were a real trooper. Like there was no real sign on your face that you hurt yourself at that moment. There was no real sign after that. But I'm watching for these things, and I thought I saw you kind of limping a little, and I was like, oh, please just let that just be the moment. When did you realize that it was going to be a bigger problem than it was?
Oh, the second it happened, I absolutely knew.
Yeah.
I was not going to let on how much pain I was in. You know, well, when it kind of first happened and I walked to the back, the adrenaline was there. So I was like, okay, you know, it's bad. Yeah. But then the adrenaline started to grow, and I was like, oh, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. And then when we finally came off after, because I had to stand there and watch another lip sync and watch the bottom 2 lip sync. And my knee is like, you know, in so many layers of tights, in my padding shorts, in my costume. And my shoes were basically sewn into my costume. So we were backstage trying to yank my costume off, and the poor medic was yanking at my costume, and I was like, ah. And they had to put a bin next to me because my body was heaving from pain. I've never had that before.
Oh my God.
I remember making eye contact with Veronica, like, oh God, like, this is really bad. She was like, it's your knee, isn't it? She knew. We all knew, but yeah, I didn't let on exactly how bad it was for the entire time, because I wasn't going without a fight, without kicking and screaming, even if it was with one leg. It went black at the back. Like the whole back of my knee went pitch black. We were like, oh,
I'm already trying to not throw up on things right now. Oh, That's my biggest fear, I think, falling down and hurt, like damaging myself, because it's just takes that minute.
Just one wrong little turn. And we'd been in a lockdown for like a year, so I had been on my ass doing nothing. I was not like at my fittest.
Right.
So, you know.
One thing I do want to ask you is, a lot of people have said that the season 2 of UK was still airing when you guys started filming, like it was that fast.
Yeah, it was literally, we didn't run yet. What
was your warning before you got on the, like from your coming to Drag Race to you were in the workroom? What was the time frame for that?
When did UK2 start? Was it November? Was it December? Or was it January?
Yeah, just before Christmas. Yeah,
that was like the time that we were like putting in our tapes. And then I think we went off to film, and well, we went to isolate in like February.
Right.
So yeah, it was still on TV. I don't even, because like obviously Veronica had to go back, so I don't even think she'd had like her episode, as they call it, yet. When
you were backstage with the paramedics and your knee, like clearly there are, you know, things being said, like they can tell they're not new. From that time to when you were officially, like, I felt you got the bum's rush off that show. You know, we've seen queens before with knee issues, particularly Eureka, and they couldn't say enough, you know, supportive. Like, also, she got the notice that she couldn't continue while she was on the show. They sent you away.
Yes, I think that was COVID-y things.
Yeah.
Different times, you know, we've got to be very careful.
I'm sure.
To go, it had to be like very serious. I'm going, and I've got to get a MRI scan, because then I'd pretty much, be gone. So
when Ruth said that it was not the last we'd seen of you, like, I think the whole world was waiting to hear that you would be invited back just right away for season 4, and that still hasn't seemed to happen.
I was waiting too.
Well, what did that feel like? Did you, I mean, I don't want to put you in a position to, you know, break your contract or compromise your relationship with Drag Race and World of Wonder and BBC, but I mean, there must have been a part of you, here you are injured, not on the show you wanted to be on most, and there's no follow-up, or at least at that point there wasn't. Like that even on the show, like you're watching the show and it's like, that's gotta hurt more than the knee.
Well, obviously there's no, you know, follow-up on the show, but they have been incredible behind the scenes, you know, checking up on me, making sure I had the care that I needed.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of, you know, not exactly saying when I'll be back, I don't really know. Maybe they haven't confirmed the next season at that time. I mean, obviously applications are out now for season 4, right. UK. But yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe it just hadn't been confirmed at that time.
Well, I have to tell you, you know, every season always seems to have somebody come back.
I know.
And I thought for sure, like, my fingerdoos are crossed that tonight you just walk back onto the set.
I'm going to jump out the box in like next episode. But
if you can, don't be stealing Shangela's gigs. She'll come after you. With all the shenanigans that have been going on, there's been double Shantays, double sachets, you leaving with an injury. I mean, do you feel on some level that you're sitting back there watching this now and going, whoa, dodged a bullet there?
I know, a little bit. I think they got rid of me. Well, they didn't get rid of me, but I had to give, and they went, well, what are we going to do now? The entertaining one's gone.
Yeah. Well, I was surprised that they had an elimination, because wasn't that the week that there was the double elimination with Ronnie?
Yeah, so I had to leave, and then they also eliminated Ronnie that episode as well.
So 2 queens gone in one breath, and I felt like usually they don't send someone home when somebody's gone home by an injury. At least that's how I think it should be. And I mean, not only did 2 queens go home that week, but Veronica Green, huge fan favorite. You know, people were really rooting for her too, and to see her go, that really, I think that must have added salt on a wound. At least you must have felt, well, I'm not the only one.
True, yes, true. And it was kind of nice because us leaving on the same episode meant that we shared like a press day for when we both left in real time, on TV time. But she's had to do that twice. So she had to share her season 2 elimination or leaving with Joe Black. And then she had to share her second.
Oh, bless her.
So she's never had like her own press day. She's always had to share it with someone.
Well, how have the press been? I mean, Britain is a different kettle of fish where press is concerned. How's it been for you to go from being a minor, I'm going to say, I'm going to say a lesbian because that's your T-shirt, and I'm desperate to buy one, and don't think I won't. But I love that term, lesbian, because that is what you are. But you went from being, known locally to now everyone knows who you are. That's got to be different.
It is mad. I still don't think I've had that whoa moment. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm like in denial or like just floating along and enjoying the ride, but it all feels very right and very correct. And I've always said this, very correct. I feel like I was in the right place at the right time, even though I got injured. It all just feels like this was supposed to happen. It's very unusual. I'm just like, yeah, this is normal. Like, it's very unusual. I think I need therapy.
Something else for people that was unusual was having a cisgendered or AFAB queen on the show, like a woman. And I have to say, and I apologize to you and all of the AFAB queens out there. There was a period there, I never felt women shouldn't or couldn't do drag, but by essence of what drag was traditionally with men transforming into women, I felt that women doing the same thing, there would needed to be a different, I don't know, maybe even a different word for it. And this is like years ago. And since I've often said, Patti LaBelle has always referred to her stage outfits as drag. And then recently I was doing something, I do a series called Makeup in Movies, and I was doing Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And here's Cassandra Peterson, who is by all definitions a drag queen and has been for decades. She doesn't even go on screen as Cassandra Peterson. She goes on as Elvira. And I just wonder, what was the press like? Because I know you've had your haters and your supporters.
Yes, and the supporters definitely outweighed the haters.
That's good.
Yeah, but the press has been amazing. Weirdly not really received an awful lot of negativity. Mm-hmm. If it was from like a few singular people, but then I wouldn't have to do anything about it. And as they say, ignore the comments and all that. But everyone else was there, sort of backing me up, or not even backing me up, just backing up that my drag and cis women doing drag is valid. Because it's a very blurry line. Because I understand that people may find it confusing, or haven't been familiar with it before. It just hasn't been thrust in front of their eyes before. But like trans women doing drag, trans women are women, so that is a woman doing drag. Trans women literally blooming invented drag.
Absolutely, yes.
Celebs around us are drag queens, like you said, and even like Lady Gaga, Cher, Dolly Parton. They're drag queens, really.
They don't walk around like that.
I look like an absolute truck driver out of drag. Like this is a transformation and a half. Like if you look at some of the other queens on the season, they're very fortunate in their bodies. They've already got a very slim physique. I corset, I pad, I have to face tape, but I still do everything that everyone else does. If you want to say that the only thing I don't do is like shave and tuck, then that's not really what a drag queen makes. That's not entertaining. No. That's not what you go and watch drag for, to watch someone shave or look at their genitalia. I hope not. You're going to see drag for the wrong reason if you are. So my job is about the entertainment of it all. I'm an entertainer. That's what I do more than my looks. Even so, I didn't get a chance to show that on the show, but people that have seen me on tour now, they're like, oh, you can actually sing, like really sing. And I'm like, yes, I could always sing. I just haven't had a chance to show it yet.
I'm not surprised that you can sing. I think that every British drag queen can sing, or at least is comfortable to sing out like live, because that's part of the drag scene in Europe, is to sing.
Yeah, that's literally like what I fell in love with drag for, the traditionalism of British drag. Even if it's bad, it doesn't matter. It's about, an experience. It's about going to a venue, to a safe queer space for the evening and having someone warble, I will survive at you. I love nothing more than that. That's the drag that I love. I will survive. I love it. I don't even have to be a good singer, but I just happen to be a good singer.
Yes, I've seen some of your videos, especially lately. What I love now is that there's a plethora of media out there, especially on your Instagram at Victoria Scone, I'm just saying, which I love now, because there wasn't a lot of that, not necessarily with you, but in general. I feel like the queens, before they go on Drag Race, I can't find a lot. And then after, it's all over the place. Yeah,
not that I deleted anything, but I was very apprehensive or cautious about what I put online, mainly because when you're like small time as well, you don't want people to just see what you do online and then that's it. You want them to come and see what you do in real life.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the same now as well. I'm not sure. There are a few clips of me out there before Drag Race, but you know, you want people to be. I like it when people are like, oh my God, you're good. Or like, oh my God, you can sing. It's nice. I like that. Come and see me. Come pay for a ticket. You don't get it for free on YouTube.
Exactly. Well said. Yeah. When did you actually start doing drag? How long ago?
Well, it's you know, we have like those, I started playing around in drag and then I actually got paid to do drag. So yes. I started playing around in like 2017, but I really started taking it seriously in 2018, entering a competition in the UK we have called Drag Idol. There's 2 competitions called Drag Idol. There's like a UK one and then there's one that's like just in Newcastle. So this was like the UK one. Right. And somehow I got to the final, like my first time performing in drag. So that's very good. That's very good.
Yeah, I mean, if you're starting, start big, sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
What made you, I know you were a performer and you were in musical theater and doing all of that. And I'm sure that when you were getting cast, they go by body type. You weren't getting probably offered a lot of princesses. You were getting a lot of the drag type roles that Panto, I mean, I'm thinking Panto specifically, would get. Was that just the natural progression? It's like, well, if I'm doing this on stage, I should do this.
Well, that was the funny thing, that I was a complete failure in the arts. My agent dropped me because I was uncastable. But yeah, I've kind of always acted like this, the character role, the panto dame kind of thing. So yeah, it is a very natural progression. But between me being dropped by my agent and being a drag, I did pageants. But not as Victoria, as Emily. So I entered a plus size beauty pageant called Miss British Beauty Curve, 2017 to 2018, I think. And I won. And then I was like, wow, I need more attention. I'm a narcissist, so please give it to me. How am I gonna put all the things I love in one thing? I love being adored. I love being on stage. I love making outfits, being extra, singing, doing makeup. So all of that together was a very natural progression to drag.
And you do make a lot of, if not most of what you wear, and do you also do your wigs?
Yeah, so I didn't do this one. Well, actually, no, technically I just put it back together, I guess. But yeah, before Drag Race, I did all my wigs. I would either sort of make badly my outfits, but really what I make is like more props and like headpieces, right. And like sculptural drag, like not really like gowns. I can't really gown. Well, I can now, but I wouldn't have gowned before. But you know, I like making things that are like very interactive and panto-y. It's always to do with panto, and it's usually to do with food.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
was that something you always wanted to incorporate in your drag, or did it just seem to happen?
It kind of was like, obviously my name is a food, a scone, and then I'm just drawn to food in costume. There's probably some sort of deep meaning to like that with me and my figure and, you know, my history with food and eating disorders and all this. But I think, yeah, maybe it's like something about me overcoming that and owning food. That's really deep, actually, but maybe it is.
Well, you had that fantastic conversation with Crystal after the shopping tags thing. Whatever that was, it still doesn't make sense to me. But I mean, here you are, you're in your 30s now, yes?
Nearly. Well, I'm 28.
Oh, pardon me. I'm so sorry. I for some reason, you just come off as older to me, like when you're talking.
I'm an old soul.
And there's, bless her, 12-year-old Crystal, and trying to keep up with the adults, and you know, I don't hold anything against her, because it's hard to be the youngest in the room and to have people talk literally over you because they just assume you have no idea what they're talking about.
Welcome to being a woman.
But you had such a great conversation with her about body image, and you know, to find out she has similar issues at the other end of this. I think people think, oh, you're thin, your life is perfect. It's like, is it?
Yeah, exactly. She experienced it. I don't even know if they showed as much as Crystal went into, but she'd experienced it in school, being teased for being, you know, overly thin and looking feminine. So it was really good that we got to touch on the extremes of that. Obviously, I did address that situation. You know, everyone says, oh, it's very mature. But, you know, even for me to be offended by that was apparently too much, because it's just shade. But it wasn't. And I absolutely do not hold anything against it. Like, I'm not blind. I'm very aware that I was the biggest in the room. I was almost just sort of doing what she was doing and taking the moment and using it for airtime and think, no, not even for airtime, for taking the moment and using it to have a good conversation, to use it for good. Okay, this funny thing happened. How can I now make something good out of this? Make some good TV, have a good conversation, teach a 19-year-old to shut up.
But Victoria, I have to say, as a big person myself, I'm not just big, I'm 6'4". Like you can't miss me. If I were anorexic, I'd still be a threat. And I think the one thing that has been historically just a running theme is it's okay to pick on fat people, because what are they going to do? Chase you? You know, it's like we don't come off as threatening to begin with. But I really appreciated you having that conversation. And then what I loved even more was right after that on your Instagram, that gorgeous photo of you looking stunning.
Thank you. Yes, that we almost broke the internet. That was almost a Kim K moment there.
Well, good for you. So you should, because I think, again, we have an idea of what bodies should look like because we're only seeing 1% of the option.
Absolutely.
And you know, I mean, I have no problem with somebody corseting or minimizing or padding or whatever they have to do. But at the end of the day, that all comes off. Like, you know, if anyone thinks that, well, for want of a better name, Kim Kardashian looks like that at the end of the day, well, you need to readdress some issues.
She's basically a drag queen at this point.
Oh my God, bless her, without a job. And she's still making more than you and I put together. I actually, speaking of your body, I love the way you corset and shape yourself. Like, again, as you say, that's true drag. And I love the exaggeration of the small waist, the big boobs, and the big hips. That's, for me, a classic silhouette anyway.
It is, and I also enjoy that silhouette, but it's almost, I do it for the reason of sort of taking the mick out of myself, or taking the mick out of the expectations that I have been put on me in life, or even the opposite. You know, I've been expected to be tiny, slim ballerina to get a job in the arts. So fine, I'm going to go the complete opposite, and I'm going to have the biggest bum you've ever seen and the tiniest waist.
Did you start padding like that, or was that something you developed as well?
No, I didn't pad at first, and I didn't even really corset at first. Like, well, I don't think we all fall into money for drag straight away, so maybe that was a financial thing. But as soon as I'd got my first like corset in drag, I was like, wow, yeah, never going back. I love the extremity of it. But I've always sort of laughed at a female stereotype in my drag, which kind of is a touchy subject. Not touchy. It's like a difficult, blurry line for drag in general. I think sort of cis men doing drag can be and is a love letter to women, and it's never, I don't think drag is misogynistic, for example. Some people, you know, think, oh, drag's misogynistic straight off. It absolutely is not. To me, it's a love letter to women. We wouldn't be dressing up as women all day to do that. But I think sometimes drag can be touching on a bit misogynistic, and sometimes it can just be laughing at women's bodies.
Well,
in my opinion,
I have to say, I feel that with those rubber breastplates. Like, I'm not a fan of those at all. I'd much rather see somebody put socks in their bra and make it work. I understand why they use them, but they creep me out.
You nailed it on the head there. That's literally what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I hate them.
This brings up a question I have for you, because, I mean, everyone expected there to be rumblings within the drag fandom for a AFAB Queen to be on. But one of the other judgment zones for drag is the lesbian community. I mean, not all lesbians. I'm just painting with a very broad brush here, but some people that have been very like anti-drag have been the lesbian community, because of the things you said, like it makes fun of women, it's misogynistic. And I wonder what their like, I'm sure that you get put in front of the panel as you all go through life. Have you had any fallout from the lesbian community and those people that aren't fans of drag?
You know, not at all, not a single thing. I think maybe predominantly in the UK, but the lesbians and like women are such a huge percentage of Drag Race fans. Yeah. Predominantly. And like there was a situation where at a drag festival not long ago, someone took a photo of the audience, a man, and said, oh, look at all these women here. like basically saying, oh, this is a straight event, it's not even a queer event. And I was like, how do you not know that those women are lesbians? How do you not know that that's a mother with her trans daughter? Like, how do you know that? Like, how dare you say that?
Yeah.
Women are such a big part. How can we just say that automatically, if you look at a woman, they're not part of the LGBTQ plus community? How do you know they're not queer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, women are queer too.
But then this is the problem that I have, is, well, if you want to be accepted, then why are you angry at the straight people showing up supporting it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. And they're paying our bills. Like,
yes. I'm sure that most of your revenue comes from heterosexuals as opposed to the LGBTQ community.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't think we can, we obviously need our safe spaces. And I know, as much as the next person from brunches for years, a hen party needs to be sedated sometimes. But yeah, we can't exclude anyone if we want to be included. No,
right.
In my opinion.
The other side of that coin for me is when people get upset with children doing drag, particularly younger, like under 15, and women doing drag. My response is, well, stop making it look so fun.
Exactly.
How could you not want to do that? It looks like a hoot.
So true. Yes.
Look at us. Who doesn't want to be us? Come on.
That's a very good response. Yes.
One thing that I am very, very proud of, and you don't know this because how would you, but I will always be forever connected to you because we share the same birthday.
I was about to say this. It says on your Twitter, 6th of April. And yeah. I was like, is that your drag birthday or is that your real birthday?
It's my real birthday. I don't have a drag birthday. I have always been like this.
We popped out like this. Oh my God, we have the same birthday.
I mean, I'm decades and decades ahead of you, but I always have a special place in my heart for the April 6 Aries babies because I feel we're the best.
Mm-hmm. I do. And people are always like terrified of Aries people, especially April Aries, apparently.
Oh, they should be. We're crazy.
Be terrified.
Yes, run now. Leave your money and run. One thing.
Birthday twin, so I do now. That's nice.
There you go. Well, I'm so happy I'm the first. I can't believe that you have never met another April 6 baby.
I know. I'm trying to think. Maybe in like a out of drag, like when I was younger, but I can't think of anyone. So you are my birthday twin.
Good.
Cheers.
I will send you a card. Yes. Lovely. Speaking of family, Tia Coffee is your drag mom.
Yes, technically.
How did that happen?
Well, she was there the very first heat of Drag Idol at the Two Brewers in Clapham. She was there. I think she was either judging or she was just getting drunk. Probably the same thing. Both, either or. But yeah, she was there, and we have been in touch ever since. I lived in London at that point before I moved to Cardiff, actually. Yeah. And yeah. We had a very lovely lockdown doing some competitions. We hosted, she did something called Lockdown Legends and I judged that for her. I was one of the mentors. She's just a real all-round good gal. Love her. So
was her being your drag mom, did she actually help you with your drag in the first part of your relationship?
She definitely encouraged me. So from that first heat, I got an immediate no. I was told I was in the wrong competition. I'm not a drag queen, I'm a cabaret singer. Yeah, not from her. No. So she encouraged me to keep going, do other heats. So I did not stop. I did every single possible London heat until I got through, and then somehow won the semi-final, and then was there in the final. Didn't win, but
Who has been the biggest influence in the drag that we see you in today?
Panto Dames, Barbara Streisand, Kerry Dupree. Kerry Dupree is a drag queen in the UK from Wales. I don't even think they refer to themselves as a drag queen. I think they refer to themselves as a female impersonator. Right. And they are the professional of the professionals. They are top tier drag queen.
Female impersonation in Britain is much more historically present, I think. It's everywhere, but Britain always seemed to own it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only way I could compare it is I've seen a documentary about like a Vegas show where someone did like 1 million characters in Vegas.
Yeah. There's been a few, yeah. We had one in Canada, Craig Russell. He toured the world in the 70s and did live singing as the women he was portraying and knocked people out of like he did all of those talk shows, Donahue, all of those ones in the 70s, because they couldn't believe that he was a man. But
Yeah.
I was so impressed he was Canadian.
Have they done Barbara? I feel like I've seen videos.
He did a Barbara. He did a great Barbara. I don't think it's hard to sound like Barbara Streisand because that's so specific. But he also did an excellent Judy Garland. But this is the thing I've been having a problem with drag with younger people today, yourself excluded. But they're, especially where Snatch Game. Well, who would you have done for Snatch Game?
Well, one of them I'm keeping secret, just in case I have to go back.
Yeah.
The other one was Danny Dyer. I put a photo up on Twitter.
That would have been brilliant to see you as Danny Dyer.
Yeah. Do you know who Danny Dyer is?
Yes.
Yes. Do you want to see a photo?
Go ahead. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Now I'm laughing because I think of Scarlett wanting to do it, and she's like that next to her.
Can you imagine two Danny Dyers sat next to each other like, all right, babe? All right.
I don't understand why Drag Race has never allowed multiple celebrity impersonations. There always seemed to be some unspoken word that you can't have two Margaret Thatchers or you can't have two Danny Dyers. And I'd like to see them all do it. Like, oh, y'all have to do Danny Dyer. All of you, go.
Everyone has to do the same person.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, on the last episode of Drag Race with the Snatch Game and Ru telling everyone what they should do, well, that's a lot of crust. But yeah. I mean, Charitza May as Cher, come on.
It would have been absolutely, obviously it was bad advice, but it would have been amazing TV.
I would like to see her develop a Cher bit for herself, because that's going to be hilarious. But unless you do Cher, like she said, I don't even know how to paint her face. It's like, yeah, it's an impersonation isn't a light thing. And I feel that the younger generation in drag right now, which is why I feel Snatch Game is almost too antiquated for Drag Race, is that there's really no celebrity to impersonate. You can't impersonate the character they are because it's copywritten. So you're now stuck with the actor themselves. And back in the 70s and the 60s, when talk shows were the big thing, you got to see these celebrities as themselves, more or less. So we saw the Betty Davises and the Judy Garlands, and we got a sense of what they were like. And I feel like now our celebrity choices are porn stars and internet. Yeah. And it's like, for me, we just had the Canadian on Canada's Drag Race, the Snatch Game. And there were a couple of people, I'm like, who is that? The bottom line for me is I don't care. Were they funny or not? But I just find now there's the celebrity pool with which people can pull impersonations from. It's very thin and iffy. Yeah. Which were both my drag queen names in high school.
Thin and iffy. Well, it's funny we say about the Cher thing, because I was thinking the other day, wouldn't it be funny to do like Cher's chair and just do a chair that has been owned by Cher in her house that has seen so many things. Just like,
or that leather jacket that was in all those photos in the 90s. It's like, I'm sure leather jacket, because that's more famous than some people, Or Cher's tattoo. I'm Cher's tattoo.
Yeah, I feel like that's what Ru wants now. Ru wants the weird, Ru doesn't want to see Danny Dyer, really. Yeah. Ru wants to see Danny Dyer's foot. I don't know. He just wants to see weird things.
We've seen a couple of things this year, like the charity shop challenge, where they literally had an hour to pull it together and timing it, and that these are innovations that are coming. So I'm hoping that they bring them to the franchise. It should be good.
It's something different. It's something very British, and I liked that episode. I thought it was chaos. It was funny.
Has there been a challenge that you are sorry you didn't get to do watching back?
I'd say girl band, but the song wasn't that.
No, no, bless them. Yeah, no.
Only for the chance to sing and dance.
Yeah.
But obviously I just wanted to be there for the whole run. So everything, I'm like, I wanted to do that. I wanted to do that.
I just want to take a minute to send a shout out to your girlfriend, Danny, because she's very helpful to you with, like, she helped you do your sandwich plate accoutrement and stuff like that. How long have you guys been together?
2 years, very nearly. It'll be 2 years on her birthday in January the 14th.
So you were a drag queen when you guys met, so she knew what she was getting herself into?
Yeah, so she's got no excuses. She got into this knowing what she was signing up for.
Do you ever take her on stage with you if you need a second person?
She is the shyest little bean.
Of course she is, bless her.
She's like the opposite of me. But I have put her in drag once. It's on her Instagram, and her drag name is Scone. And I have a drag son. They're kind of born, but not really. But they're called Gavin Scone, like Gavin Scone. Yeah. Which I think I literally have a pack. Like,
I just have a couple of questions more for you. One of the questions is, what is the best thing that's happened to you since being on Drag Race?
That's a good question. Just being able to platform different genders has been amazing. That was the whole intention of me going on there, really. And just so I couldn't moan that they weren't casting any cis women anymore. But yeah, just being able to not even be that person, but seeing so many people happy and elated that they can see themselves represented on TV now. You know, the lesbians, the larger women, the bisexuals, the trans women even, that think, yes, you know, because we haven't had a trans woman on the UK series yet. So hopefully that's coming soon. Please, we need more gender diversity. So I just want people to apply. I mean, I think they're closed now, but I would like to think that my involvement in the show has meant that different gendered people will apply now, or feel like they can apply and have a chance. I didn't think I would have a chance when I applied. I really didn't. That was the first time I applied as well. So
clearly, like, the fact that you were the one to break the glass ceiling here had to have been the biggest shock.
Yeah, it was. And when they told me, I just remember going, "Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?" Like 10 times. Like, are you sure? Like, it's definitely yes. Are you sure? Not because it was me. I just didn't believe it. I just didn't believe it for a second.
Well, I think you were a great choice, because you've absolutely done yourself and drag and women proud. I think there's, like, absolutely, if anyone had a question of somebody doing drag who was already female, you've definitely proven that, no, drag is drag, period. Literally,
period.
Yeah. On the other side of that, what's the worst thing that you've experienced since being on Drag Race? Has there been any kind of fallout that you were just surprised? Oh, really? That's a thing?
Not really. I would say that sometimes, like, this is very specific, but like group meet and greets are really hard because I want to have a connection with someone and talk to them a lot. And I want to be able to have those few minutes to hear what they want to say to me and hear their story. So I want more hours in the day. I don't even know what I'm asking for, but I want a longer meet and greet, but there literally isn't any time. I'd be there all day. I don't know if that's a thing.
Yeah, well, that's a curse for you being so popular.
I suppose so. Thank you very much.
You started this in the middle of a pandemic, maybe at the beginning of some restrictions being lifted. How's the scene in Britain now for performing and doing shows and the audience and all that?
Diluted, oversaturated. There's too much drag. No, it's great. Everyone's up and working again, and we're having tours and shows. There is so much drag, though. Yeah. It's great, but everyone's like scrambling to get tickets sold. It's amazing. I think it will calm down. You know, obviously we've all been locked up for years and years. So,
well, speaking of tickets, you are doing a show in 2022, the Jam Packed tour.
I am. Yes,
that's exciting.
London's nearly sold out, which is mad. It was really surprised me. Like, Cardiff sold out within a few days. It's crazy. I know it's my hometown, but
I'm not surprised. Really... I think the Welsh are very supportive, specifically because historically in Britain, I think that they've often been dismissed or forgotten. And you know, here's somebody bringing the daffodils to the world. So why wouldn't they? Yeah.
I love that look.
Yeah, that was gorgeous. It was, I think, I have to say, I don't think anyone's done a flower.
Weirdly, Akira did some sort of like pinky purple flower. Like, obviously we didn't know we were going to do it, but she did it on, I guess it was All Stars, yeah. Like a few months before, and I was like, no!
Well, I don't remember it.
No, well, there you go. Then it didn't happen.
What can people expect in your tour?
So it's going to be like a mixture between Michael McIntyre's show, a show called In for a Penny, In for a Pound, and Barbara Streisand in the Park. A bit of everything.
Fabulous. So lots of singing.
Lots of singing, very interactive dancers, and like diverse drag. Because it technically is like a one-woman show, but I'm going to have like support acts, different acts at each show from the city that I'm in. Hopefully we're sorting that out as we speak.
So you're finally becoming the musical theater star you always knew you could be. Exactly.
If they won't hire you, put on your own show.
Exactly. And what will you say to those that want to hire you? It's 4 times as much?
It's absolutely 10 times. At least.
Well, I for one am so thrilled that you were on Drag Race, even if it was just for 2 episodes. I knew who you were before you were on Drag Race, because you had some really great Instagram shorts with those quick transformations, like the one where you kicked the shoe and you were in drag. Like, I was very impressed with that. And I have to say, I've been very aware of women who do proper full-on drag since, I think, well, for a couple of years now. I mean, I had a conversation with some people on my channel about that. And I remember at the time saying, well, I'm not sure that it should be called drag. And again, I apologize, because up until that point, it had always been men transforming. I mean, even people dismiss drag kings. They don't think of drag kings when they think of drag. It's always male to female. But if you're a woman in drag, you have to then dress as male. And I think that to have somebody like yourself prove so beautifully that that's not the case, that it's still just drag. I'm so pleased that you're the one that kind of slapped my face with that.
Thank you.
And I really do. I hope they have you back for season 4, if there is one. And if not, I hope that they film your Jam Pack tour and televise it so that I can see more of you. Are you planning to take the tour to North America? Hello?
Oh, all over the place.
Good.
If they have me.
Well, I'm sure people are just chomping at the bit to see you live, Miss Scone. I also want to apologize. I always say Scone because of the E on the end of scone, but when you write the word gone, it's spelled the same way. I don't know what my problem is. I think
I'm versatile. I dabble in all pronunciations.
Well, Victoria, thank you so much for taking this time to have a chin wag with me. I hope that you have fabulous, fabulous success beyond your wildest expectations. And thank Oliver for being such a sweetheart and keeping me on your book.
Absolutely. No, I was pushing him. I was like, I do want to do it. I want to do it, because I was so devastated when I had to not do the last time. Well, it's viewing party day, so it's Drag Race day for me. I've got a viewing party in a bit.
Oh, well done. Oh yes, it's tonight. Yes. Well, I'm just going to say, I expect to see you walk through that workroom doors today. I don't know why. Hope springs eternal here on this side of the pond. Thanks once again, my darling. I wish all the best and more for you in the coming years, and I can't wait to see you on the telly again.
I'll be back, hopefully.
Well, that was Victoria Scone on A Chin Wag with Wilma Fingerdoo. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. What the hell's wrong with you? I mean, you sat through all of this, you might as well subscribe. And if you'd like a link to all of Victoria's Instagram, Twitter, her website, I have all those links down below. Until next week, miss me! Mwah!